The apprehension and fear that the 2022 primaries of the All Progressives Congress APC might suffer a plethora of setbacks in Taraba State have been confirmed as the exercise witnessed an avalanche of crisis, conflict, bickering and bitterness. The state APC primaries was a difficult one because of the disagreement that ensued between the gubernatorial aspirants, numbering about 3 senatorial positions, 6 National Assembly and 24 State House of Assembly positions. The aspirants were some of the aspirants were Senator Emmanuel Bacha, Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, Chief David Sabo Kente, and Professor Sani Yahaya, Barrister Aladi Kifasi, and then we have Senator Anthony Manzo and former Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Mamman. Now, the crisis is yet to be resolved. One of the aspirants that contested and the Chairman Senate Committee on Special Duties, Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, joins us on Daybreak this morning to give us, an insight into what transpired in that primary. Senator, thank you for joining us on Daybreak this morning.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Yeah. Well, the last time you were on the program, you were quite optimistic and very confident about the reconciliation of grievances within your party, the APC. That was in the build-up to the party Congress, that held at the time. Now we are seeing the kind of things that followed the primary election in Taraba State. What's your account of what happened in Taraba as far as primaries are concerned?
Well, thank you very much. Good morning once again. Really what has happened was something that is very, very surprising, very shocking, to not just only me or the aspirants, also shocking to the people of Taraba State and in particular the APC, supporters. However, I will try to be very, very short because the matter is in court. I don't want to be, seen that, I'm talking, I'm violating some courts proceedings. However, the position simple. There was no primaries conducted, at least at the gubernatorial level, because I don't want to talk on the issue of the senators, House of Representatives and House of Assembly. But I aspired to be governor, and we prepared ourselves to go for primaries to be conducted by APC through the committee they have actually established. But no primaries was conducted at all. As things that came out later, we saw that there was not even any declaration. It was at the airport that the committee, while answering questions from the reporters, said there was an election. Well, previous day they said there was no election. So that is what has happened, and it's a matter that is before the court, especially me. Some of the aspirants did not go to court because they feel that justice one way or the other will be done, and so for me, it is now in the umbrella or in the broom of APC, to decide whether to accept the caricature of primaries that they thought has been done in Taraba.
But there was an announcement by the chairman of that committee at the police headquarters in Taraba, where he declared Senator Emmanuel Bacha as the winner of that primary.
No, not at all.
Actually, as a follow-up to Ayuba,
Yeah.
Indeed, the Lawrence Onuchukwu committee,
Yeah.
yes, at first, they said that there was no primaries. That was on a Thursday at the police headquarters.
Yeah.
But on a Friday, at the airport, they actually said primaries held and that Emmanuel Boacha won. Yeah. In fact, they said the reason they made the earlier statement at the police headquarters was because that it was done under duress, that they were assaulted by certain persons, and that was why they could not say then. But now at the airport, they could say that primaries held and Emmanuel Boacha won.
Well, thank you very much. Again, the matter is very simple. How can you be under duress in police headquarters? Does it make sense? Police, you are under the police custody, and you say you are under duress. It doesn't make sense at all. Probably he was under duress at the airport, where he did not even announce, he did not even declare. All what he said, he was answering a reporter's question on his way back to Abuja. So as far as we are concerned, there was no declaration whatsoever, because everybody knows the process of declaring who a winner, once a winner has emerged. While he was answering those questions, were there INEC officials, were there security officials? There wasn't anything like that. So well, if the police that can answer this question was police, they want to indict police, but I don't think that is fair. You can't be under police roof and you say that you are working under duress.
But Senator, before the primaries, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Abimbola Shokoya, actually raised an alarm over insecurity in the state. In fact, the commissioner said that there were some thugs around a venue where the APC stakeholders were supposed to hold a meeting, and they were brandishing weapons. Were you aware of that situation?
Well, in politics, you will have your own crowds. These things will come, they will talk. Why was there a crowd? They are supporters, they are party supporters. And Taraba is such a sensitive place, very, very sensitive. He is talking about police headquarters and not the venue. Police headquarters was not the venue. So why he did announcement and say he was talking under duress, it was police headquarters. That's my argument. It's a simple logic. Even the Commissioner of Police will not want to indict himself to say that, yes, under our own custody, somebody was under duress to say A, B, C, D, E. That would be self-indictment. But I don't think, with due respect, the Commissioner of Police of Taraba State has actually, said, under his own roof, the chairman was under duress to make certain announcements.
Prior to the APC primary elections, there was apprehension about certain guidelines that were released by APC, where, aspirants were expected to sign an undertaking, to consent to decision of shadow poll or whatever that means in the party and all of that. Could it be that Senator Boacha is, happens to emerge as a result of this decision or consensus or whatever arrangement,
I wouldn't know specifically, but the little that I know of, there is party constitution, there are party guidelines on how to conduct the primaries, and there's also the Electoral Act of 2022, on how the party, should go about conducting its own primaries. It is an internal affairs of the party. However, the law says INEC must supervise or must go there to monitor. Even police has been given a role now in 2022 Electoral Act to provide, enough security for primaries to take place. But what I am saying, there was no primaries. There was no even invitation for INEC to go and conduct to go and monitor primaries. I think the invitation by the party was to go and have meeting with the stakeholders and not to go and monitor, because there are stages. After meeting with the stakeholders to monitor, you also need, a specific mandate. Now that we are satisfied, this is the mode of primaries that is going to take place, so you are now invited to go and monitor. So whether the primaries, was to be direct primaries, indirect primaries, they are all issues before the court. And it's not something that I want to go deep into because I don't want to be
also,
seen.
Senator, you mentioned direct and indirect. Yes, the chairman of the election committee to your state said that the Abuja National, the National APC, directed that they should use direct primaries. But some aspirants were not comfortable with that. Do you think that could have affected?
It's not comfortable. You see, whatever we are going to do, let us be honest, let us be sincere. A lot of people are saying that politics is a dirty game. Politics is a very, very clean game. It is the people in politics that are dirty. And what is happening is that there was no directive from the headquarters of APC that direct election should be made. There was no directive to that effect. None whatsoever on the 25th, none on the 26th when the primaries were conducted. I can tell you there wasn't any, because directives comes from the party headquarters and not from the state headquarters. And all directives are written, because this is so critical. You cannot just sit down, take your phone and say, okay, go and do direct primaries. No. Who will do that? Is it the chairman of the party, His Excellency Abdullahi Adamu, that will take his telephone and say, well, committee, go and do direct primaries? Or the legal advisor, or the national organizing secretary? Who gave the directives? There wasn't.
So what's the involvement of the national secretariat or the national headquarters of the APC as far as this matter is concerned?
As far as this matter is concerned, the national headquarters, has actually written, a letter on the 23rd, about the mode of the mode of primaries that is going to be done to INEC. On the 25th, they wrote another letter again, excluding, not including Taraba as one of the states to conduct direct primaries. So there wasn't any counter letter until 30th, after primaries had taken place, that the headquarters has actually forgotten. It's inadvertent, but that it's a human error that they could not, put Taraba as one of the states to do direct primaries. So, I mean, just take example, I'm inviting you, to come to a wedding of my daughter or wedding of my son, and the wedding is on Friday, and I gave you and you got the invitation on Sunday or Monday, and I will now hold you accountable that you didn't come to the wedding day. So I mean, there are all issues that I think lack of sincerity, lack of honesty, and I think we must stand up, to make sure that this politics we are going to do, we must be honest, we must be realistic, we must have integrity with all the skills. We have seen the integrity in President Muhammad Buhari. In the next meeting, before the advent of the of APC now, he clearly stated how this thing should be done. That there should be honesty and dedication. There should not be impunity. There should not be imposition. It's very, very clear. NEC has taken that position. So, I mean...
So do you consider that perhaps there's some kind of attempt by the national body of your party to impose a candidate, a governorship candidate?
Well, I think there might be something like that, but that question should be put to the leadership of APC.
I mean, your suspicion.
Yes, that's my suspicion. I'm alleging that, certainly.
Senator, after the primaries, or the no primaries as it were, as you say, you and some persons wrote to the appeal committee. What happened?
Well, normally, it's a natural process. If you are not satisfied with the conduct of the primaries, whether it was done, not done, I mean, there's an appeal committee. So about 6 of us, wrote to the appeal committee, making our own complaints. So, and the appeal, returned their verdict, that certainly there was no primaries. So, and they presented their report to the national headquarters. So, up till today, we are waiting, for the national headquarters to give us a feedback. This primaries was alleged to have been done, on the 26th of May. June, July, August, we're in September now. And despite the fact that, the aspirants, are formidable people with due respect. I'm a senator of the Federal Republic, 2-time senator under APC in Taraba, former minister of power, Saleh Mamman, the former, head of service of the Federation, our former ambassador to Israel, and Chief David Kente, who contested for governorship, twice in Taraba State, and even commissioner in Northeast Development Commission, and even Professor Yaya. But Professor Yaya has left. Actually, he has joined NNPP. So, these are not names that you can just ignore in Taraba, with due respect. There are no names you can ignore.
So, with all of this happening now, it's certainly a huge risk on the part of APC, because as it stands, the APC stands at risk of losing out in the governorship race in Taraba State. Within now and the time, INEC is, scheduled to release the final list of all the candidates. What are the chances of your party in, sorting things out?
Well, it's something like that. However, I think it is within the ambit of the party to do the right thing and then salvage the situation. Taraba, up till today, is an APC state. It may be PDP government, but it is an APC state.
Senator, since 1999, PDP has governed Taraba State. So, what do you mean when you say what do you mean when you say it's an APC state?
Well, the preponderance, of the people there sympathize with APC. Even though, the government, how elections happen, what they have been done in the past, twice I've been senator under APC. Yes, senator in the south is from PDP, senator in the north is from PDP, but that does not, with what happened 2015, we all know Mama Taraba won the election, but, we lost it at the court. In 2019, APC actually won, but we lost it at the court too. So it is the preponderance of the people of Taraba APC. I have no doubt in my mind. Fair, clean election, APC is going to win, even today.
Yeah, go ahead.
Senator, before you went to court, did you exhaust all the internal mechanisms available within the APC to sort out your grievances?
Well, you see, once an incident has happened, there's a time limit for which that you have to go to court. However, that time has been, has been obeyed. And then a lot of internal mechanism has taken place. 4 or 5 letters, have been written to the party secretariat. About 8 meetings have taken place. And there is no feedback from the party to tell us. You cannot just keep us in abeyance and then keep us and thinking that, these guys are stupid, they are foolish people, we don't recognize them, we don't honor them, let them go to hell. Because that is our understanding. The party should give us our own due respect. Meet with us, tell us formally, not that things will be happening, and then keep us at abeyance. That should not be the case.
I'm just wondering, what are the options of the APC in Taraba State at the moment?
Very slim. if the way things are going. But by the grace of God, if things will change, I'm not saying that it has to be Yusuf. Let fairness dictate the process. We all know there was no primaries. Let there be primaries. Under Section 36 of the Electoral Act, still there is room for the party to conduct another primaries if it so wishes and wants to be fair and honest. It's very, very clear.
But, I mean, isn't it binding on you to support whoever emerges as the candidate of your party, looking at the undertaking that you have signed before the primaries?
I will always surrender to a free, fair, and credible primaries. Whoever wins, I have no problem. But there was no primaries. There were primaries in other states. Why shouldn't I respect if there was primaries? There wasn't.
But this seems to be the decision of the national headquarters
Well,
of your party.
that is what I'm saying. There was no primaries. The party headquarters decided that there was primaries. So the only option left to us is to go to court. After we have exhausted, we saw the chairman of the party. After we have written, we saw the deputy national chairman North. We had meeting with him, with national organizing secretary, with director legal, with deputy woman leader. The 6 aspirants, the 5 aspirants individually. We had meetings. We have written, letters, and there was no feedback.
Senator, at the last weekend, Senator Bwacha, who at the moment is the candidate of your party, held a press conference in Taraba where he called on all aggrieved persons to work together so that the APC can actually win that state, considering that the PDP has always been in power in the state. Now, with this crisis happening, wouldn't that affect the chances of the APC?
Yes, there's a likelihood it will affect, but let us do the right thing. And it is not too late to do the right thing. That's my position. It's not too late. Who are those aggrieved? So if you do not do the right thing, I become aggrieved? Where? I want to see. Let them put it on television for Nigerians to see that this is why they did the declaration. This is how they did the primaries. Let us see. I will surrender. But there wasn't.
One of the aspirants have since, defected from your party and is now the flag bearer of the NNPP in Taraba State. What would you do if INEC, for instance, upholds the position of the national headquarters of the APC?
Well, we are in court, and that is the last thing we are going to resort to, and it depends on the verdict of the court.
And if the court goes in favor of, Senator Bwacha?
There are processes that will follow. Certainly, if you are not satisfied with the position of the court, you go to the higher court.
So let's talk about 2023 and the APC. A lot of controversies, have trailed the decision of the flag bearer of your party to pick someone of same faith, let me put it that way, as running mate, and that has caused a lot of reactions across the country. How will Taraba come in the midst of all of this with the crisis within the APC in Taraba State? Can your flag bearer actually count on Taraba to actually bring in the votes?
Yes and no. Muslim ticket is not the first time they are doing Muslim ticket. With due respect, I'm not setting aside the Christians of this country. They're a formidable force to be reckoned with. However, when it comes to party politics, you look at not just representation, you look at also how will you win your election. I respect the Christians, they're a formidable force, and I think, they should be given, enough room to participate, in the politics of this country. But just by taking Muslim ticket, I don't think the intention is to push aside or to make, to marginalize the Christians. I don't think so. In Taraba, I mean, since the advent of Taraba up till today, the substantive governors have been Christians. Have been Christians. But we have voted for them.
But was it a Christian ticket?
Well, even if it wasn't a Christian ticket, what we are saying that, as far as Taraba is concerned, we had all governors, substantive governors as Christians.
What's your take on the proposition by your fellow senator, Smart Adeyemi, who is proposing that we should, there's a bill that he is proposing that this should be legislated upon?
With due respect, I don't think, I will support that bill for the simple reason. Now, supposing after the bill is passed and one decides to convert to the other religion, what happens? What do you do? So for us, I think these are not supposed to be legal measures to be taken. They are not supposed to be legal measures. They are supposed to be political, discussions, political acceptance, trading horses. It's all matter of interest. Who said where you have Muslim ticket, the interests of the Christians will be trampled on? Let us have this psychology out of our minds or out of our heads and now come to believe the whole problem is problem of justice or injustice.
All right, talking about justice or injustice and inclusivity. In Taraba State, Senator, Governor Dambaba Suntai was from Taraba Central. The current governor, Dairo Ishaku, is from Taraba South. Senator Boacha is from Taraba South. You are from Taraba Central. And some people in Taraba State are saying that at this point, power should be moving to the north.
Well, for Taraba, North had about 9 years, under my brother, Governor Jolly Nyame, he had about 9 years. Central has 6 years under Dambaba Suntai. South has 8 years now. So we are saying that for effectiveness, even at the national level, why was there so hue and cry that it must shift to the south? So we believe that, for fairness, for justice, for inclusiveness, I think, with due respect, it should come to Central. Not because I'm from Central. It can be anybody. But what we are saying that, let us try to balance it. Let us bring everybody on board, I think with due respect, even the governor, it's been speculated that he's not supportive of a gubernatorial candidate, of even his party coming from the south. Whether it is true or not, I wouldn't say at this point in time, but it's been speculated to be so. So, I mean, it is all matter of all of us come together to bake the cake for the development of Taraba State. Make it peaceful, make it, accommodating. For me, when I have political difference with someone, that does not mean that I will have social differences with the others. For me, politics is different, socializing is different. So I think, just like what you said, we should respect, inclusiveness. We should respect, participating, representation. So, but in politics, sometimes, it depends on how you want to win. If by 2023, I'm coming, sir.
Yes.
If by 2023, APC couldn't win, there's what they call political IDP, political internally displaced persons. And nobody wants to be a politically displaced person. So it is political. That is why I don't want to look at the sensitivity of religion. It is political.
Senator, there are those who have argued that, it is politicians that are guilty of using some of these considerations. depending on whether or not it favors them or not. So some of these, preferences are picked and are used when it favors, and when it doesn't, somehow politicians, find a way around, around them and all that. So what would you say to this group of people where they feel that you are selecting what favors you?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, in Nigeria today, every politician, should be a Nigerian. Not only politician, every Nigerian should be a Nigerian. By the grace of God, I'm Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm not a Fulani senator. Neither will I be a Muslim senator. I'm a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I will protect the interests of my religion. I will protect the interests of Hausa. I will protect the interests of Igbo. I will protect the interests of Fulani.
But in talking about fairness and inclusiveness, you mentioned your zone, the Taraba Central, as, should be given a fair, chance to also, take part in this and all that. So isn't that a consideration based on, your tribesmen, so to say?
No, it is not tribesmen. Taraba Central is not just Fulanis or Hausas that are there. Taraba Central, even has Igbos, Yorubas. They have, what do you call him? They have Chamba, they have Jukons, they have all, they have thieves, they have all of those. So the consideration is looking at representation. We also want to be fair, to be part and parcel, to play our quota. Sometimes, I feel reluctant to begin to talk about these issues of exclusiveness as a result of, because someone will now be saying, okay, he has no merit, because that is why he's talking about it has to be this. No, that is not the case. The case is simple. Let us have a feeling, we two coming all over together and bake, the cake for the development of, Taraba State. So for me, I think that is how it should be. We should negotiate, we should trade horses, we should sit down and laugh and do what is right, for the state.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, Chairman, Senate Committee on Special Duties, and also you are the Senator representing Taraba Central. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak and sharing, giving us insight as to what's happening in the politics in Taraba State.
Thank you very much for having me, and you are doing great.
Thank you.
And we look forward to further engagements.